Welcome to the story of Joseph, a tale of dreams, betrayal, resilience, and redemption. This is a story about a young man with a gift and a vision whose life took some pretty wild twists and turns. Today, we're diving into the life of Joseph, the dreamer who went from being his father's favorite to a prisoner in Egypt and finally to a powerful leader who saved millions. Let's get started. It all began in the land of Canaan. Joseph was the 11th son of Jacob, also known as Israel. But Joseph wasn't just any son. He was his father's favorite. Jacob gave him a beautiful, colourful coat, a robe that made him stand out from his brothers. And Joseph, well, he wasn't shy about it. Now, if you've got siblings, you might know how jealousy can build up. Joseph's brothers weren't thrilled about him being their dad's favourite, especially when he started having these strange dreams. One night, Joseph had a dream and he decided to share it with his family.
Hey everyone, I had this amazing dream. We were all out in the fields tying up bundles of grain. My bundle stood up straight and all of yours gathered around and bowed down to mine.
Not surprisingly, his brothers were not impressed. What? You think you're going to rule over us? They sneered. But Joseph didn't stop there. He had another dream. This time he saw the sun, the moon, and 11 stars all bowing down to him. His brothers had had enough. So one day, while they were all out in the fields, Joseph's brothers saw him coming and hatched a plan. They decided to get rid of him once and for all. They threw Joseph into a deep pit, planning to leave him there. But then a group of traders passed by on their way to Egypt. The brothers had another idea. They sold Joseph as a slave and went back home, telling their father that Joseph had been killed by a wild animal. Jacob was devastated. His favorite son was gone, or so he thought. Meanwhile, Joseph was taken to Egypt, far from his family and everything he knew. He was sold to Potiphar, an important official in Egypt. Life as a slave was tough, but Joseph worked hard and earned Potiphar's trust. Things were starting to look up for him, until they took a sudden turn. Potiphar's wife took a liking to Joseph, but he refused her advances. This made her furious, so she lied and told Potiphar that Joseph had tried to harm her. Potiphar believed her, and just like that, Joseph was thrown into prison. Imagine how Joseph must have felt, betrayed by his own family, wrongly accused, and now locked up in prison. But even in that dark place, Joseph didn't give up. He still trusted God. And before long, he was known as the one with a special gift for interpreting dreams. One day, 2 of Pharaoh's servants, the cupbearer and the baker, had disturbing dreams. Joseph interpreted them correctly, as it turned out. The cupbearer was restored to his position, just as Joseph had predicted. Joseph asked the cupbearer to remember him when he got out, but sadly he forgot for 2 whole years. Then one day Pharaoh had a dream. In it 7 fat, healthy cows were devoured by 7 skinny, starving cows. Pharaoh was troubled and didn't know what it meant. That's when the cupbearer finally remembered Joseph. He told Pharaoh about the young Hebrew prisoner with the gift of interpreting dreams. Pharaoh called for Joseph, who interpreted the dream. Egypt would have 7 years of plenty, followed by 7 years of severe famine. Joseph didn't just stop there. He even suggested a plan to save up during the good years to prepare for the bad. Pharaoh was impressed. In fact, he was so impressed that he made Joseph the 2nd most powerful man in Egypt, right under himself. When the famine hit, Egypt was ready. Thanks to Joseph's planning, there was plenty of food stored, and people from all over came to Egypt to buy grain, including Joseph's own brothers, who didn't recognize him after all those years. Now remember that dream Joseph had all those years ago, about his brothers bowing down to him? It was happening. But instead of seeking revenge, Joseph tested them to see if they had changed. Finally, Joseph couldn't keep up the act any longer. He broke down and revealed himself to his brothers. They were shocked and terrified. After all, they had thrown him into a pit and sold him as a slave. But Joseph, in an incredible act of forgiveness, told them not to worry.
Don't be afraid. You meant to harm me, but God meant it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives.
Joseph invited his whole family to come and live in Egypt, where they were safe from the famine, and so the family was reunited, stronger than ever. Joseph's journey had come full circle. He went from a dreamer in a colourful coat to a man who saved nations from starvation. Joseph's story shows us the power of forgiveness, resilience, and faith. Even when everything seemed to be falling apart, Joseph held on. And in the end, he found purpose in his pain and reconciliation with his family.
From a dreamer to a leader, through the trials and pain, Joseph's journey showed us the sunshine after rain. When all hope is lost and you're feeling all alone, remember Joseph's story and find strength of your own. From a dreamer to a leader, through the trials and pain, Joseph's journey showed us the sunshine after rain. When all hope is lost and you're feeling all alone, remember Joseph's story and find strength of your own. Through the trials and pain, Joseph's journey showed us the sunshine after rain. When all hope is lost and you're feeling all alone, remember Joseph's story and find strength of your own. Joseph's story and find strength of your own.